Ladies and gentlemen, the American German Bulldog Nation, welcome to the Eric Deters Show. As always, we're sponsored by Deters Consulting, Parks Yoga. Check us out on all of our platforms. One of the things I love about the Donald Trump administration is he did everything that he said he was going to do. You know what Joe Biden did? Joe Biden says he's going to be the president for everybody. He's going to bring us all together. He's going to be the most transparent presidency ever. No. Do you believe Mayorkas, the Homeland Security Secretary, refuses to tell us how many illegal aliens have been let go into our society? We don't have a right to know that? That's messed up. He ought to be impeached. Biden skips the NATO dinner. Apparently, he was so tired he had to work on his speech, they claim. Folks, they wind him up, send him out, and hope for the best. And you know what they've gotten used to? Here's what they've gotten used to. I mean, I know it. Susan Rice, Joe Biden, they're like, you know what? People are getting used to it. He screws up so much that it's getting covered. It's kind of like passé now. That's what they're doing. That's how they think. They're like, the mainstream media is not going to hurt us. Let's just let Joe go out. If he screws up, big deal. I mean, it's hysterical. It's also awful. All right. This is sick. This guy, Camilo Campos, left his phone, like via laptop in a restaurant. They picked up the phone and they found that he had raped 10 unconscious boys. How do you not give the death penalty to this guy? Look at this creep. DeSantis' campaign is crashing. Trump's on it like green on grass. He's in a bad mood in public. Everybody knows his campaign is going nowhere. And you know what? Perception can be reality in politics. It just can. Trump's Hunter comment. Trump says, Hunter gets off light. They go after him, and he used the word death sentence. And they immediately think Trump means execution. See how they twist his words? What he means by death sentence is metaphorically that this guy should be dead to the public, the world. But no, they say Trump wanted him executed. Unbelievable. Kamala on transportation. They joke that she solved the transportation problem. You know what came out of her mouth? It's really important that we get people where they need to go. This freaking woman is vice president. Unbelievable. Spider-Man, Tom Holland says he doesn't like Hollywood, has seen people lost to it, his friends. He doesn't want anything to do with Hollywood. Good for him. All-Star game. The Nationals broke a 9-year losing streak and won 3-2 on a Diaz 2-run homer. Good for the National League. Mike Lindell, auctioning off equipment. Doesn't look good. Says he's lost 95% of his sales when all the woke corporate people cancel his contracts, like Walmart and everybody else. No one has paid, next to Trump, Mike Lindell has paid a bigger price for being conservative and a fighter for our views than anyone else. I used to complain that it's always about selling. I'm not anymore. Feel sorry for the guy. He's sacrificed. Farmers Insurance is pulling out of Florida. More and more insurance companies are. Hey, DeSantis in Florida, they got a problem. Insurance companies, I tell you what, insurance companies fix the game to where they make money. When the climate, hurricanes, disasters, and whatnot, hurt their bottom line, they're out of there. Insurance companies don't do anything that doesn't fix the game for them. It's pure and simple. The DOJ, this is like hysterical. They don't want to defend Trump anymore with presidential privilege in the lawsuit with Jean Carroll, the liar. It's shocking, isn't it? The Michigan GOP has endorsed Donald Trump. He's going to win. Kevin Costner. Christine wanted $250,000. He said more like $80,000 a month. He's going to have to pay $125,000 a month. Win Costner. Do you think she could live off $1 million a year? Rand Paul. He is bashing NIL, and I disagree with Rand on this. Rand came out, by the way, where is, wait a minute, remember, Thomas Massey is in love with Rand Paul. How come Thomas Massey isn't calling his lover wannabe, Rand Paul, a racist for saying we're no longer going to have athletes. We're only going to have rappers and race car drivers, or whatever he said. You know what? Sorry, Rand. It's just fact. Here's my position. These athletes get used and abused. If you're famous in college, and you should be able to make money on yourself, not your damn college. Pure and simple. It's called capitalism. I support athletes making money on their name. Rand Paul is wrong, and he came off like a racist. Haughty-daughty. Guess what, Rand? I was a lawyer. You became a doctor. Advertisers don't care about us. Just the way it is. But guess what? You get to be a doctor till you're an old man. I get to be a lawyer till I'm an old man. These folks, they got that brief shining moment. And you know what? It's the luck of the draw. Their genetics, not their fault. Their ability, the sacrifices they make, it's just pure and simple. To this day, I'm like, oh my God, that guy's going to make $50 million being a quarterback a year. But guess what? How many people out of 7.8 billion in the world can be a pro quarterback in the NFL? That's why they make $50 million. All right, Leslie Van Houten, awful. She was one of the Manson killers, been in jail 50 years, walked out yesterday. She's going to be on probation and parole. That's got to be a weird fit. Folks, I was in Hamilton County Justice Center for just 8 days. It felt so weird when I left. Like weird. 50 freaking years? Crazy. They say she's this wonderful person now. That might be, but her crime was just too bad. McConnell sucks. He just does. He attacks Tuberville. He attacks everybody and anybody. There is no difference between Biden and McConnell, the rhinos and the Democrats. None. Zelensky, he's supposed to think of all we've done for this son of a bitch. And he attacks Biden when Biden says he opposes Ukraine going into NATO. What have you done for me lately? Zelensky is the biggest taker in history, and he's gotten away with it. DOJ, this is amazing, as Grassley points out. Let this sink in. The Department of Justice briefed Hunter Biden's lawyers on his case. They did not brief the whistleblower IRS agents on their case. Says it all. Dairy Queen's giving out free ice cream cone one day this week. I forget which day it is, but check it out. McDonald's, free French fries on Thursday at McDonald's, and free Subways. Forget what day this week. They're going to fresh cutting meats. So they're going to give away free subs. The North Dakota governor, he's a billionaire. He has to get a certain number of donations to qualify for the debate. So he's giving out $100 gift certificates for a $1 donation. I bet you it works. Lady Gaga, you can't make this up. One of the people who stole the dogs asked to get the $500,000 reward for the dogs. The court said, nah. Isn't that amazing? You've got the nerve to steal the dogs, then get the reward. It's like ransom. Trump is no hurry for his Florida trial. He's going to be asking the judge to continue it past the election. I think it's only fair. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Coming up next, Eric Deters and local news. Ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, welcome to Eric Deters' Local News. As always, we're sponsored by Deters Consulting, Parks Yoga. Check us out on all of our platforms. Well, the lead story is this story. And last night, it moved me so much that I did a Facebook Live on it. And it is Maya Pickens Barton, this little 9-year-old girl who's a cheerleader, was staying at her grandmother's house, 11:30 at night, inside the house, and a drive-by shooting bullet, single bullet, hit her and killed her. I think these photographs are what grip me. You know, I'm somebody that wants the death penalty for anybody abuses a child. I loved being a father. Loved it. I was a great father. I love talking to my children. I love encouraging my children. I love taking my children to all of their events. I never missed a single one of my children's events. I coached them in all the sports. They're just so awesome. Then, same thing with grandkids. Love being a pop-pop. And the conversations you have and the things you do. I could not ever just not say no to a grandchild. And I saw this picture, and it represents so much what I always say about children. Every child should be happy. And when a child is not happy, it's just so sad. Like a child that's bullied, that is so sick. I used to represent people for free, fighting back against bullies. Children, they love their new school clothes. They love getting dressed up. They love doing their thing. Makes them feel part of something, makes them feel big. They're growing up and excited. And it's snuffed out by a single bullet. Killed this little girl. So in this picture, I saw every child that I've ever known. And the thought that this little girl, life is snuffed out by a drive-by shooting, meaningless, just crushes me. And then I can't fathom. When Joe Deters and I were buddies, he used to say that the worst thing about the prosecutor's job, the worst thing, was talking to victims of completely senseless crimes. Like a victim of a crime, like a spouse killing a spouse out of rage, is bad. But like a completely senseless crime, like why did this happen? It's just awful. I can't imagine the parents, the grandparents, the sisters, the brothers, the aunts, the uncles, the everything. And this goes on. I mean, I don't get to see the pictures of what goes on in Chicago every weekend, but you hear about young people being shot and killed too. You know, if two groups of gangbangers want to go shoot at each other, let them shoot each other. We'll clean up the street after they're done, right? Innocent little freaking children. Look at that little girl. It's crushing. Didn't it crush you? Crushed me. Crushed me. Our lead story. Try to put the focus on how terrible this is. In Cincinnati. You know what all they're going to say again? I mock them all the time. It's a community problem. We got to come together. We got to have a conversation. We got to. No. The only thing to solve this is lock these thugs up every chance you get. Because we know we have repeat offenders. Hamilton County, you were actually blessed to have a guy like Joe Deters who believed in that. And you're also blessed that Melissa Powers, the current prosecutor, a protege of Joe, has the same attitude. All right, long crime. Half of Cincinnati's homicides. There are 39 this year, half of them unsolved. Relates back to the first story. There's a Covington shooting. Another person's been shot and killed in Covington. Second one, and that last guy got shot. He wanted to be death by cop, but not looking good. This guy here is an armed and dangerous man in Kentucky, wanted apparently in Rocky Top, Tennessee. There's a place called Rocky Top, Tennessee. Look out for this guy. I can see him shaving his beard and his hair to look different. All right, local news. Boone County needs bus drivers. This was sent to me last night. If you want to be a bus driver, they pay well. Ohio School District, the largest Ohio school district, Columbus City Schools, paid $24,000 to hide gender transitions from parents. Northern Kentucky sports betting will start before the NFL season. You can bet at Turfway and down at the old Newport betting site. Northern Kentucky companies at the Eggs and Issues complained about supply chains, and the answer is supposed to be diversification. You know what? Supply chains that don't go from China. In Kentucky news, Kentucky agriculture land has finally stopped going up in value, according to Kentucky Farmers Bank, and it's going back down a little bit. This guy found 700 gold coins allegedly on his farm. I was trying to find out what county it was, and I couldn't. Civil War era coins. I wonder how much that's worth. Arrest was made on this in Washington, D.C. for this Oldham high school teacher that was shot and killed in Washington, D.C. There is apparently a Kentucky Sturgis right here, and it's going on. It's back. A Kentucky Sturgis type of thing. By the way, Freedom Fest, we welcome motorcycles. Kentucky voter registration continues to go up in numbers. Now, the Pulaski County Clerk, the Pulaski County Clerk's a perv. This guy got the job after his dad, but he was apparently grabbing people's. His line was, this is hysterical, Sabrina. Can you imagine a man that's your boss telling you that he'd like a bite of the bacon? Oh my God. Crazy stuff. All right, a GM plant in Ohio. They get $1 billion of incentives from taxpayers. They cut wages in half. Ohio's poverty rates increased 13%. Not looking good. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Coming up next, Jamie Spinley in his World News.
Hello, this is Eric Deters World News. This is Jamie Spinley. The headlines. Turkey has agreed to support Sweden's bid to join the NATO military alliance after a year of opposition. NATO's secretary has called this an historic step. 6 people have been killed in an helicopter crash near Mount Everest after returning from a sightseeing tour. The helicopter came down just north of Kathmandu, Nepal. It is unclear what caused the crash. The police have found the dismembered body of a missing German businessman in a freezer. The search for Hans-Peter Mack, age 62, ended as police located his remains in a rubbish bag in a rented house in the freezer. 2 Germans have been arrested. Finland's far-right finance minister, Riikka Purra, has apologized for a string of racist comments she posted 15 years ago that has just come out to light. She said she was very sorry for the harm and resentment they had caused. And South Africa has been named the world's best country to visit. I'd like to go to South Africa one day. That's on my bucket list. What about you, Sabrina? No. No? I'll say no more. Until tomorrow, cheerio.